here, and yesterday was Halloween. Oh, I'm not properly dressed then. I should at least be in the spirit, right? Let's fix this. That's better. So, in the spirit of Halloween, I thought I'd talk about one of my all-time favorite authors, Edgar Allan. And all throughout middle school, my teachers have just been hitting me with Edgar Allan Poe short story after poem after short story after poem. And I grew to really like him. I know his stuff is kind of dark, but it's so rich with imagery, and I love how he kind of just makes up words sometimes, like phantasmagoric. I think that was in the Fall of the House of Usher. Not 100%, but I think so. He's just a really cool guy, and his writing is eerie, and I fell in love with it at a young age, and I still love him right now. So I kind of just wanted to talk real quickly about two of my favorite works of his. The first is more popular, A Telltale Heart, and I thought this was so creepy when my teacher read it to us in the 8th grade. But then I kind of thought about it, and it was still creepy. But I loved the creepiness of it. It was something I could kind of understand, which is weird. I don't want you to think I'm a freak, but in the sense that the main character was fixated on the color of this one guy's eye that he worked for, and it really freaked him out. And he was going to kill him because he couldn't stand the eye looking at him. And I can kind of understand this because, I mean, there are people where certain traits of them, physical traits, kind of stand out, and sometimes they unnerve you a little bit. Like, I've seen people where I'm like, ooh, that's a bit creepy. Like, I've met them before. I've never wanted to, like, take an axe to them and be like, let's go to town, can't stand this. No, I move on because I'm a stable person. But I can understand that fixation on a single physical trait that just kind of unnerves you. I'm not going to spoil the story for those of you who haven't read it, which is probably not that many, because I mean, it's very popular, but it's just an interesting read. Psychologically, it's interesting to see how it all works, and I found it very interesting, and it's one of my all-time favorites of Edgar Allan Poe. But my all-time favorite I read when I was in 9th or 10th grade in high school was The Fall of the House of Usher. And my teacher who read this to me, she was just one of my favorite teachers. She was very sweet and nice, and she threw a lot of stuff out at us that made me think. And this story, we delved so deep into it that I was just left going, my mind was blown because it was just so much. And I was like, wow, this is a lot deeper than I first thought on my first read through. So we read through it multiple times. But basically, it's about this young man who is coming to visit his friend and their sister in their old house. And he goes there, and the house is not very well taken care of. It's crumbling, it's falling, the fall of the House of Usher, yeah. It's like, it's really not well kept. And what I loved about it was that Edgar Allan Poe ended up drawing parallels between the house to the people living inside of the house. And it was fantastic. Like, once I caught that, I was like, oh my god, this is so deep. And the detail in it was just amazing. Let me just read to you a little bit of the beginning of this, because it gave me chills as a young teenage thing. During the whole of a dull, dark, and soundless day in the autumn of the year, when the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens, I had been passing alone, on horseback, through a singularly dreary tract of country, and at length found myself, as the shades of the evening drew on, within view of the melancholy House of Usher. I know not how it was, but, with the first glimpse of the building, a sense of insufferable gloom pervaded my spirit. I say insufferable, for the feeling was unrelieved by any of that half-pleasurable, because poetic sentiment with which the mind usually receives even the sternest natural images of the desolate or terrible. So that is the beginning of The Fall of the House of Usher, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Like, even rereading it now, all these years later, I get chills up my back. I mean, the imagery and the detail is phenomenal. It's phantasmagoric, as Edgar Allan Poe might say. So if you enjoyed that little snippet and you are curious and maybe want to read more, I left a description to a PDF file you can click on below. And also I did the same for Telltale Heart in case you're interested and maybe you want to read that. I hope you all had a happy and safe Halloween, and I hope your November is just as fantastic as my past October has been. Bye!
And all throughout middle school, all of my English teachers had just hit me with Edgar Allan Poe story after Allan blah 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 blah. Today, he might be my literary crush. I'm not sure. Well, I guess he wouldn't be my literary crush. Blah 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 blah. And they ended up drawing parallels. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Buzz Lightyear, by the way. Isn't that so cool? Like, I'm a dork who loves this. I think my boyfriend's embarrassed when I wear this, but honestly, he's never seen me in public in it, or he's never seen me in it at all. But I mentioned it. He's like, "Oh God, don't wear that." And I was like, "Boyfriend, look at this. This is so cool. Like, I'm Buzz freaking Lightyear. Like, even with the hood. Like, I know I look like a child to begin with, but I feel like if I like maybe curled my hair, maybe I could work this. Maybe I could on the streets. Maybe not. Or at least with the hood down. I think I don't look horrible. I don't look like super childish. Do I? Do I look super childish? You guys be the judge. How old do I look? I'm 19 now, so I'm sure I don't look 19. My hair, oh my God. Can it like manage itself for a second here?